there was like an iconic moment, which is like you meeting him, right?
Yeah. That moment made the top 15 moments of Love is Blind.
How's it feel to be engaged?
Weird. They check your luggage before the show, and I had my little oracle deck and my Palo Santo candle. I had all this like crystals, and they were like, "Who is this witch that has arrived?"
Being on Love is Blind, I think that's the most vulnerable thing that someone can do. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rich in Soul podcast. I'm your host, Natty Brittany, and today I have the beautiful, the bright Brittany Wisniewski. You guys might have seen her on Love is Blind, but what you don't know is that she's the author of a beautiful book called Living Well.
Keeping Well.
Keeping Well, Keeping Well, Being Well. We're all well. And I love it. Thank you so much for being today on this podcast. First off, we both manifested this podcast.
No, it was
I'm
crazy.
still not over that.
I know.
That's the weirdest thing. Okay, so obviously, sometimes we all dabble into a little reality show, and like we'll wait for the guys to jump off for this one, even though I feel like it's their guilty pleasure. Like if I have a podcast running in the background or a show running in the background that's like kind of girly, Johnny will literally be in the background like, what's happening now? Like, oh, da, 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 da.
Natural curiosity.
And so I had never watched Love is Blind. And my friend, she's like, Natty, no, like, I'm telling you, this season is so good. Like, you have to watch it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to watch that. It's like, I don't want to. She's like, there's a girl on there who's actually like really spiritually like energetic. She's so bright. And I was like, really? I was like, okay. I watched it literally because you were on it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And so it's so wild because I was the other day, I asked Clarissa, my assistant, I was like, hey, reach out to a couple people, and we reach out to you. And then what happens in the midst of that?
Well, first of all, I just happened to be in Miami. I literally landed an hour ago, and I got a text from my manager, Jamie, with a screenshot. Hey, do you want to be on this podcast? But 2 days ago, maybe even a day ago, I had been doom scrolling on TikTok, and I see you, and you're talking about a video about fame and the spirituality behind fame in Hollywood, and I liked it. I listened to it, and I looked to see what podcast. I'm like, what the heck? I just liked her video, and
so
I'm in
beautiful.
Miami. It was just divine. And I have on my bucket list, my little manifestation list, to be on a spiritual podcast because I haven't really talked about it. And it's my favorite topic.
I love it. And I feel like the manifestation part is so big. And I think, like, you know, you've obviously had access to this limelight. You know, it's so crazy that last week, in the last episode, we were talking about superstars and fame and the dark side and kind of like being able to navigate that and how the brightest of human beings, they will attract that magnetism. We're just talking even before the camera started rolling about how you, Brittany, you are this person that's so bright, like literally you can see it through the camera. Like,
oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure you know this though. You know you carry this.
I do, but it's like you can't see it in yourself. So I'm glad that that's transferring because I can see it in other people.
Yes.
There's a handful of people I can see their auras, but you know, I don't have that ability to see my own brightness, I guess.
Do you think that like even like on the show, because I don't know, I can't remember if you talked about it a lot or if did you get a chance to even talk about like this, how important this is to you?
Like spirituality?
Yeah.
That's why I chose Leo. He can grasp, he's Jewish, but he taught me so much. Well, I just resonated with his religion. He resonated with my spirituality, and he's one of the only males that I can talk to about spiritual things on the deepest level possible that I know about, and he just gets it.
Wow.
And no.
Wow.
People don't even understand the spiritual connection we have. It's crazy. It is so crazy. And yeah, we were definitely meant to meet for sure.
Are you guys are so close?
Very, very close. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And I mean, he was into art, right? He was like an art dealer.
Yes, he's an art dealer.
Is he from Miami? Because
he's from Virginia.
oh, he's from Virginia,
Not Arlington, Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, like I think it's wild because again, last week we were talking about like the artists and how an artist, a superstar, someone who does these things kind of has to use their pain to transmute that into something really beautiful. Oh. So, you know, being on Love is Blind, I think that's the most vulnerable thing that someone can do. Like me watching the show, especially I really like the concept with Love is Blind that it's not so like they show some drama, but it's like you actually fall in love with the process.
Yeah, it's not a very drama-ridden show.
Right?
Things come up for sure, but they don't feed into it, which I do really like. I do really like about that show.
I thought it was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, so a lot of times, like especially in the spiritual community, right? Especially the OG, like, you know, there's like the new age spiritual community, and then we have like the OGs, right? Which are like in the jungle, and then we have like the children, then we have like the children of the jungle, which can be sometimes, there's a lot of pretentiousness in the spiritual community now, right? Because we have so many people rising up and seeing like, I am part of this, like we're all spiritually aligned, we're all siblings. And they might see like being on a reality show or structuring your spiritual practice as a business as something bad. And I feel like the fact that you chose to be on the reality show and being this kind of beam of light, it's really, really courageous. I want to ask you about that process of you deciding to be on a show and putting yourself out there. How was that? Because I admire it.
You know, I am the most type B person. I'm a generator in human design. So I don't think before I do things. I just react out of my gut. So I didn't think too deeply of going on a show, to be honest.
Yeah.
At all. Maybe I should have, to be honest. I think I went in a little too blind.
A little,
no pun intended.
Literally a little too blind.
A little too blind. I just went for it. So I had never watched the show before. I don't watch TV. I actually didn't even own a TV for a year. I never turned my TV on. So I got the casting. 2 friends sent me the casting for it. And I'm like, no, maybe,
Have you been
no.
on like, had you modeled or been on TV before?
No.
What?
No. Yeah.
Girl.
Just like my little online stuff. And then they reached out to me, the casting directly. And I said, okay, this has now come in 3s. And you know, the power of 3, so mote it be. I said, now that's a sign and I will fill out this application. And when I filled it out, I just had this knowingness. I have goosebumps. Like I just knew I was going to get casted. Not in an ego way. I just was like, I was filling this out. Like, if I fill this out, I'm going to be on the show. So do I want to do this or not? And I was like, yeah. And then I just detached. I didn't try to manifest it. It wasn't on my vision board. I wasn't like, I'm going to be on Love is Blind. You know, I literally think that the spiritual law of detachment, I was so detached from being on the show. And the casting process was so long. I just forget about it. And it was in the back of my head. And then I get an email with the next step of casting, like the next step. And I'm like, okay, it's filming in like 2 weeks. I think I have this.
Wow.
But I was so detached from the outcome.
Wow. Talk to me about that process. Like, I feel like I was talking about this with one of my best friends the other day. We were watching some other reality show. And she was like, girl, like if I was on TV, I would be like, no, I gotta fix my hair. I gotta like, oh my God, I look so bad. Like I literally can't even imagine myself having cameras all day. One of the hardest processes for me, like starting House of Vibration, was that I was always like a very behind the scenes kind of person. I loved cameras. I loved, you know, the marketing component, the production part of it. And then when I decided to open up this beautiful community, I realized that I had to be in front of the camera, and it was extremely difficult for me. Like I felt so uncomfortable, and I was struggling so much, and I realized that was one of the most healing things in my healing journey, was being okay with being on camera and seeing myself and loving myself in that way. But I would love to hear about that process for you, of like the cameras being all over you all day, and like, were there any moments where you're like, wait, I'm not ready, or like, what, or, I don't like how I looked there?
That was beautiful. That was, yeah. It's like mirror work, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're just filmed all day, every day. So I think if you are really, it's just impossible to just be in there and have that mindset. If I was filming all day, every day, and being like, oh my gosh, like stressing about looking good, I would have driven myself crazy, I think. It's very weird. It was definitely an adjustment period. You know, maybe like the first 2 days, you're very hyper aware of all the cameras.
Yes.
And I don't know what to do. Like, do I look in them? I don't know. I'm just so like, And then you just surrender to the process. You're like, well, whatever.
You got to surrender to that process.
Looking back, I picked myself apart.
Really?
A little bit, for sure. And I'm like, I need to schedule a nose job.
Really?
For real. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I actually did have one scheduled.
You're like, and
I did have one scheduled. And
you're so cute. I love you. She's like, and
I did also cancel it.
Yay! Because you have a perfect nose. You're perfect. You don't do anything. Oh my gosh. Well, I feel
the universe told me no. Everyone I said I had this surgery planned and I had a date, and there was not one single person in my life that's told me to do it, and I said, I gotta cancel this.
I'm gonna disappoint
the
too many
universe
people.
is saying through other people, cancel.
No, girl.
And
I'm so happy you did too. I mean, like,
So
don't
those
get me wrong. I feel like again, in the spiritual community, there's like this concept that like Botox blocks off the third eye. And
yes, I've seen that.
And it's like, okay, I really strongly believe that if there is something that you feel uncomfortable with your whole life and it's like holding you back, then do it.
Yeah.
You know, I think that they're spiritually understand that like God gave you certain things, and like, you know, you got to feel, you know, I think that's a process. But going back to that question, it sounds like you are someone who, thank God, that energetic kind of understanding was there. Did you see any of the other girls struggle with the self-image thing and having cameras all over them?
Honestly, no.
They were all pretty.
Yeah, I feel like I don't feel like that was ever a topic that came up in the lounge.
Yeah.
Of course, we were always running to in the lounge.
Gosh.
We're always running to the mirror, you know, fixing our makeup and stuff. But yeah, I feel like we were all pretty comfortable.
So you wake up.
Seemingly so.
You wake up in the morning, you get ready, and it's the whole day filming.
Yes.
Is there any breaks?
Yeah. There's definitely, you're being filmed the whole time, so there's not really a break in terms of filming.
Yeah.
But, your schedule is, you go in, we get the book that you see in the back of the book. We have our dates for the day, what time, what pod number. And then if you're not on a date, you're in the lounge. And in the lounge, you know, I'm sleeping half the time on the couch with my little blanket like this.
Like when she came in, she's like, "This feels like a pod."
I know. It does actually really.
I love it.
Bright lights. Yeah. You're under all these lights.
Gosh.
The cameras. No, I'm kidding. I don't have PTSD. But if I did, this would
you go back again? Would you go back?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah? I would for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, I have this other question. So we had a retreat. It was an all women's retreat in Tulum in April, and we were talking about Love is Blind. It's so interesting how this came up so much. Yeah, in Tulum.
I can't wait to hear.
And when we were on our way somewhere, and we were talking about. So one of the biggest things that I try to focus on is having spiritually men involved in the community. because
Ooh.
I've met such luckily for me, I have a really beautiful man, but for my girls in my community, you know, we see so many women have been hurt, and so I'm always looking for like men who are aligned, which, like you're saying, that's why you feel that you aligned with Leo so perfectly,
Yeah.
because he really represented like a healthy man in that sense, right?
Yeah.
And so we were talking about how cool would it be if instead of love is blind, there was love is spiritual,
That would be really cool.
right? And
Yeah.
so like they didn't meet per se. We would like, and what I had in mind, right, was this concept of like really getting the most healthiest men, like all around, like no cheating background, like no like fuckboy energy, like just literally divine, and getting very incredible, strong women, and kind of like really would be a test for us women, because I feel like we're so disappointed. We're so
Yeah.
freaking like hurt that we just, even if there was an incredible man in front of us, we wouldn't believe it.
That is unfortunately very true.
So I had this
Yeah.
concept of like, how cool would that be?
That would be really cool, and I
Right?
would like to participate.
Right? So Netflix, I mean, we can do a
little
spin-off.
Astrology, match compatibility.
All of that.
Yeah, that's the first thing me and Leo did when we got out of the pause. I
Really?
said, I'm figuring this out. I sent it to my astrologer. We're a karmatic relationship, past lives.
Wow.
I forget the rest. I have it in my phone, but
Wow. So do you think that you landing that opportunity and being able to succeed and being that, because that's a success story. Being able to
you.
go on something like that, that's so difficult for a lot of people. I was telling you before the show, that before we started rolling, that I have someone that I met recently that went through the whole process for another show, and it was really disappointing for them. And she's a young girl, you know, and that process was very difficult. Let's say for any young girls who are watching that are like, I want to be on Love is Blind, or I want to be on a reality show, like I know that's going to be my opportunity, and they don't, it doesn't go the way they planned. Maybe they get cut off midway through, maybe because of the show, or maybe because of their performance. I don't even know. What would you say to someone like that?
you know, I hate to say everything happens for a reason, because I don't always believe that, to be honest. But
I'm so happy you say that, because me too. Sometimes I
Yes.
don't believe that.
it just takes the fun out of life. If everything happened for a reason, what's the fun of living? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But sometimes it does. And I don't know, just I know how disappointing it could be, because I went that whole year after filming not thinking I was going to be on the show.
A whole year?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, we filmed in October and it aired in October. So there's a whole year of us just being in limbo. And, you know, so I didn't think I was going to be on the show, because typically they don't follow, couples after, unless you go to the Mexico or wherever and continue filming. So I didn't think I was going to be on the show. It was a very big surprise that I had any sort of presence on there. So I felt the energy of being disappointed. You know, you just spent all this time and energy.
How
for
many
what?
months is it, the filming?
I filmed for 2 weeks, but if you progress, I think maybe like, I can't remember, maybe 2 months if you're getting married and you follow through it to the end.
Wow. So I
Yeah.
don't know why I thought it would be
But-
so much longer.
I mean,
You're like, it felt like
It
years,
felt
girl. You're like, no, I lived an eternity. I lived so many lives in that house. I can imagine.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 weeks is good. But just don't give up. If that's your dream, there's so many TV shows. There's so many opportunities. Just, keep growing. I don't know. Just keep doing it.
Do you think that like you being so in tune spiritually helped you navigate that?
Yes. I don't know. I went through a pretty dark period after I got back. For what reason, I do not know.
Really?
Nothing traumatic happened to me. I just don't know why. I stopped filming and I was in the darkest place of my
Really?
life, and I do not know why. And yeah, so it was a hard year. from filming to when it aired. And I had a shaman healing session. She really helped me. And maybe it was meant to happen. Maybe, I don't know what that was about.
Do you think other girls or other people who were on the show experienced something like that too?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for them, but perhaps.
It might be like almost like a, you just finished like creating something.
Yes.
Like it's almost like a new life.
Yeah.
Almost like giving birth, right? When we create something and like that postpartum of like, now there's this void. It feels like a void because you don't have this big thing that just changed your freaking life.
That might be oh, I got goosebumps. Honestly though, because you just filmed, you met so many new people. It was just such a stark difference from filming and being around 15 friends, because you become very good friends, and just living this, I don't know, you don't have your phone.
You don't have your phone the whole time.
No.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't.
So how do you handle like an emergency?
Your producer has your emergency contact. But yeah, I think it's just such a stark difference from reality. So you come back home and you're like, what just happened? Like,
I'm alone.
I was just under all these lights all day, every day, and now I'm just back to my normal life. I don't even know what happens for a year. You're just confused, I think.
Wow. It almost feels like, I mean, I'm thinking right now. Like,
that resonated.
Yeah. No, and I feel like how many people feel what you have felt after filming not just a reality show, a movie, a TV show.
Yeah.
All these actors, right? They go into character. At least you get to be yourself.
Yeah.
In a sense, right?
That's very true.
You have to go into this character and then they leave and they're really missing something. It almost feels like the entertainment industry needs to start bringing in more spiritual advisors and more emotional support, mental support, not just during the filming. Because I did hear now that during like Hollywood sets, especially when there's child actors, they bring in like support for them. So that's a good sign. But the aftercare, right? And I think that's where it makes a difference too when they work for like the union, right? Usually I think union workers get a little bit more support, but as a reality star, you're not a union worker. You're just going in there like, yeah, I guess this is a great idea.
Netflix, I will say they did offer us support afterwards.
Oh, they did.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
Yes, it was very, very nice.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was your choice of support. I don't know how detailed I can get, but so they basically, my choice of what I thought would help me best, which was one of my more natural it wasn't a typical therapist. It was my non-traditional therapist, and they were like, yeah, sure. So they really, that was very
they helped
nice.
and support
Yeah, that was very nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's needed. It's needed because like you're saying that void and I can't imagine. I think we're gonna have to do something about that, me and you. How we can help more actors and more people who jump off of these shows and need the help and support, and you understand them, right? Living through that, if you literally like even just. I think we need to do an event specifically for
reality TV people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I feel like those on the alternative, some people have no problem going, but I'm someone who gets very drained by being around people. I require solitude, and I did not have solitude for 2 weeks. And yeah.
I think that, from the moment I saw you on the show, I was like, she's on the frequency.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, that's why we're here, right? And we see each other. Like the reason why you agreed to come on the podcast as well is because you felt that, some people are just not aligned, and that's okay. But being that you are aligned, that's why you feel that drain, right? And that's why you understand that the spiritual protection is so important. So thank God that you're like, I require some solitude after this.
Yes, I went in there and they check your luggage before the show, to make sure you don't have
Yeah.
anything bad, of course. And I had my little oracle deck and my Palo Santo candle. I had all this like crystals, and they were like,
what did they say? They let you keep it, right?
It was this witch that has arrived.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Where did you get that from? Like, when did your spiritual journey start?
I think all of the women in my family have a story, a ghost story, something. I come from
In tune.
Yeah, very in tuned female bloodline, I think. But after my mom died is when I was just thrown. This didn't find me. I was thrown into this world for sure.
How long ago did your mom transition?
14 years ago.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah,
you were
it's
young.
hard. I like lose track now. I'm like, I don't.
So you were like
somewhere around
15,
14
like,
years ago.
yeah, like in your
I was
teenage
19.
years.
Yeah.
That's a super,
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
Wait, let's go, mama. Well, that makes
Yeah.
sense, right? I really think that for those of us that experience that at a young age, there's a different type of development that happens, right?
Absolutely. It made me a little insensitive to death. I think I do actually have to work on being a little more sensitive to death. Because if someone dies, I'm like,
You're like,
I don't know. I'm like, it's life.
you're like, it's life, and you're gonna feel her even more now.
No, I know.
Do you feel her?
Not too much anymore. And I think I had this, after she died, she would visit me in
Really?
dreams a lot, leave messages a lot. Whatever my little symbol for her was.
Yes.
And I feel her less and less, to
Okay.
be honest.
Yeah, it happens because
Yeah.
they start to like ascend and ascend and ascend and ascend.
Yeah, I do. I don't think that I know she's here.
Yes.
But I feel like maybe she reincarnated. This sounds so crazy.
No,
but I do
girl.
I feel like she's reincarnated again.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just do know that.
Do you have like nieces and nephews?
I think it's my cousins are gonna be like, this crazy bitch.
No,
Valerie, I'm not saying that Ellie is my mother reincarnated.
no, I
But I have
believe
a
you.
suspicion.
You're so funny. No, we're literally, you're talking to the weirdos. Like, anyone who's gonna be
God.
watching is gonna be one of us, so don't worry.
I'm blocking my cousins
Yeah,
from this post.
Cousins, get on the
Oh
frequency.
my God.
But you think it's like what? Yeah.
I feel like
I love how serious she gets. She's like,
let me not talk indefinite.
Okay.
But it might.
yeah.
She might be.
But that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. I see the same thing. I see like people all the time, but that's what ancestrally we bring in.
Yeah. And it's so funny. You just went right into nieces and nephews. Like you knew.
Well, I have a connection to my gay uncle who died in the 80s. I never met him.
Mm-hmm.
He died. He was one of the first cases of HIV/AIDS.
Wow.
Yeah. And I never met him. And there was this one time that I don't know why, like I always felt like a really deep connection to helping like the gay community since I was little. I was like that 6-year-old that was like, this is what gay means. This is like, I don't know why. Yeah. And
sometimes you're just born with it.
that's what I'm saying. Like there's things that you're just kind of like in tune with. And I remember like this must have been 2 years ago. My grandfather died and they were going through like old things and a picture of my uncle came up and I'm like, I'm going to take it. And I took it and I put it in like a book and I was like, I'm going to frame it and I'm going to put it on my altar.
Aww.
And years went by and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy it. You know those little picture frames that are hard to find? Like, where do you find a picture frame nowadays? You got to go to like Ross.
Yeah. No,
and
you're
when
not
do you go
wrong.
to Ross? Like
Yeah.
never. I never go to Ross. And I just so happened to go to Ross. I found the picture frame and I put it at the altar. And when I put it at the altar and I looked at it and I was like, what the heck? This is kind of weird. Like, why? I've never even met him. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like, who knows? Maybe your younger niece, nephew might be like, I never met her. Like, why do I feel this connection? So I put it and I'm like, you know what? Show me a sign. Show me a sign. If you want me to put you at your altar, at the altar, let me know. Literally, I put my phone down, I take a shower, and I come out of the shower, I open up my WhatsApp. Hispanics have like 1 million channels and like you open it up and it's like 100 messages that you missed. And it just so happened to open it up and it landed on a chat of my dad saying, happy birthday, Hernan, because of you, I came to this country and I was able to have my children. This is a long story with him, but it was
your uncle.
And it was it was his birthday. I literally put his picture at the altar on his birthday 40 years later.
Wow. I've had goosebumps the whole time we've been filming.
So your niece and your nephew might feel that when they're older.
Yeah. Wow.
And you'll be there. You'll be their whole aunt there, like, wow.
This is so weird, but my grandmom just died, and she lived such this sheltered life. She never learned how to drive. Not because she owned a car. She just lived this like such a sheltered life, never really traveled. She grew up in the Great Depression. So she just, I think, had this guilt with money and spending and just lived this like very, to me, like just a sad life.
Yeah.
Even though, and I always was like, if I have a child, I want her to reincarnate, to experience life.
Yes.
And travel with my kids, and I don't know, I just want her soul to experience.
And she will.
Yeah, I really feel like she's gonna reincarnate as my child. I don't know why.
That's why we have to do these things. Have you ever done family constellations?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Okay, so next time that you come to Miami, I'm going to bring you. I have a friend of mine who does these really beautiful family constellation ceremonies per se.
Ooh.
Basically, it's really cool. It's like a game. It's like an adult game.
Okay.
Right? It's a healing circle. And you basically, you'll say, okay, I'm trying to work on X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm always angry and I don't know why. Or like in my mom's case, she's like, I can't sleep. And so, and then it's like, okay, why can't you sleep? And then okay, I have anxiety, right? Basically, we try as a group, we'll try to kind of like identify where that anxiety started. And
I love this.
So you pick out of the circle different people to represent different players in your life. And so basically these group of strangers, you start to reenact this traumatic moment in your life. So it will be like, let's say like this right now that you're telling me, we would bring out your grandma. Your grandma's a little girl during the Great Depression. And like where her process was, where her pain started. Aww. Why was she so cold? Where did that come from? And so then you kind of get an opportunity to see things from a third party perspective that you've never been able to, because you're kind of like in the loop and the matrix usually every day. But it's really beautiful. I'm gonna tell you about it.
My brain's, when I leave here, I need to go meditate. I'm gonna be
we'll
spiraling.
Watch out. Brittany's gonna do something really cool. I know it. I want to talk to you about well, first off, that was beautiful. I love that we got to talk about.
Yes, thank you for introducing me to that. I can't wait to learn more.
No, and the talking about like your mom and everything like that just opened up like a portal. I feel. Aww. Truly, I think it's really beautiful when we get an opportunity to keep like our ancestors' stories alive.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure like I don't know why I feel called to say that. Your mom's probably super proud.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you. And I love what you shared about your uncle too, because I had this aversion, and I think it was just how I chose to handle grief. My house had not a single family picture for a very long time. Like my house, not my childhood house. I just never honored my ancestors. I think I blocked my mom out of my memory a lot. Wow. I never talked to her and been like, hey mom, I'm on Love Is like, I don't know. I just never talked to her. And I learned a lot about ancestor healing and connecting with the ancestors. And I went through all my like family pictures. I took out, and after my grandma died, I took pictures from her house. So now I have, my whole family room has family pictures in it. And I just feel like it shifted the energy in my house. And so many, I just felt once I hung these pictures up differently. I felt them. I had this very vivid dream of my grandfather who died when I was a child. I just started, I got like psychic. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I actually had to turn it off because I would go to bed and random people would be visiting me.
Really?
This sounds absolutely crazy. But I think I connected with them a little too much.
You're like, I can really connect.
And I said, look, I gotta get some sleep.
You're like, you gotta go home. Listen, you gotta go home. I ring a little bell. I'm like,
the pictures
you came? The picture.
Yeah.
So I use a little bell. Whenever at night, there's certain moments when I call them in.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain moments where I say, thank you so much. Like, thank you for your time. Even like this property, I'll take you outside after. You feel like you're gonna feel it. It's very beautiful. But it's very intense. You feel this property that we're on was some of the only untouched land by the Paleo Indians that lived here.
Wow.
And Miami is it's a concrete jungle now. Mm-hmm. So it's very special that we don't have anything here around us. And at night, literally, sometimes we'll hear a flute. Yeah.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We'll hear a flute. We'll hear like little pitter patters on the grass.
Wow.
And when I came here, the way that we found this property was really interesting too, because it was so beautiful. It was so it was a picturesque, it was beautiful. It was very special. And I was like, there's probably so many people who want to live here. And me and my partner came on, we went outside, we did a little offering immediately. And I understood that the only way that I would be able to live here was if I made this a space for people to come and heal and feel this.
Wow.
So sometimes I don't always want to host.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody wants to it loves the idea of being able to, be on Love is Blind. Mm-hmm. Okay, but then when you're actually going through it, you're like, right? But it's almost like it's an offering, it's an exchange. And you did an offering and an exchange on being on Love is Blind because you brought that light into the show. Yeah. You brought that energy in. That was an exchange that you did. And that's the same thing that I feel with this property, that it's like, okay, Nat, you want to live here? Then we're going to make this a power place. Wow. You're going to have to do that role. And it's the same thing for you, being on camera. Okay. We're going to give you this opportunity, but what's that exchange? Are you going to bring in that love? Are you going to bring in that light? Mm-hmm. Are you going to make people feel seen? How do people feel when they're around you? And I think that's the key to a star quality person, is that they make others feel seen.
Wow.
Which is why beautiful. On a show, people will relate. You become unforgettable, right? And I think as the leaders, that's the most important thing. How do you make another person feel when they leave, right?
Thank you. Yeah. I have so much to think about. I feel like I should be paying you to be here. I'm learning so much. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna give an offering to my land.
Yes. Don't worry, we'll have a whole session after. But I want to piggyback off on the question that I initially asked you. Mm-hmm. So your mother transitions, and would you say that that's when your spiritual relationship kind of changed?
Yes, oh my goodness. When she died, the first thing that happened, because it was just a snowball effect, and it was just so crazy how things progressed after she died, for sure. But my aunt came over while she was passing, because we knew it was going to be that day, and she brought over this little Mother Mary statue. And Mother Mary, a lot of my family members, my great grandmother, but a few people have had this very deep connection with her, where they have felt like they have sensed their energy, perhaps seen her. And my aunt brought over this Mother Mary statue. The last picture that I took with my mom, she has this orb. And you think orbs, little, mm-hmm. This orb was so big. It had so many layers, and it was just so crazy. So I feel like, something definitely I'm getting so off topic here. I like forgot the whole question.
No, yeah, your spiritual.
Yeah, so right after, and this is coming from, I had a very Christian background. So now I'm like,
okay, you grew
okay,
up
my aunt gave her
Christian.
this Mother Mary statue. Now there's an orb in this photo that's pretty supernatural, you know. Okay, and then my mom had met a very spiritual friend right before she passed away.
Really?
Brand new friend,
What?
Lisa. And she was my mom was Christian, okay? She had some ghost encounters with a great grandfather or whatever, but you know, she wasn't going to see psychics, and she wasn't tapped in. She didn't know about this stuff. This was the early 2000s, 90s. And anyway, my mom met this friend who, at the funeral, we exchanged numbers, and she became like a spiritual teacher to me.
Really?
And it's just so weird that my mom just randomly met her through a friend right before she died. This girl took me to my first like New Age shop. She was just teaching me about like connecting to my mom after she passed, and I tell her about my dreams, and she would analyze my dreams. She just became this like spiritual teacher.
One of your mentors, of course.
Yes. And then it just like, I just keep getting these spiritual teachers who come into my life and like teach me more. And yeah, I guess, I don't know. Here I am.
And they're like,
I'm not a good storyteller.
That was a really good story.
It's that I am a terrible storyteller.
You're
you just don't know where
great.
it's going to go. And
That was beautiful.
my ADHD takes you on all kinds of turns.
So does mine. Don't worry. That's why I had to piggyback off. I was like, I'm like, wait, what was the original question? I'm the
I
same.
have no idea what you asked me. I'm talking about.
No, but that was really beautiful. I feel super connected also to Mother Mary. I'll
Really?
show you. I have a beautiful Mother Mary right there. Yeah.
Is that your religious background?
I grew up Catholic.
Okay.
I grew up Catholic, and I think that like being exposed to Catholicism was really beautiful for me, because you know, a lot of times as this kind of very in tune children, especially teenagers, right, when we start to experience supernatural activities, I think it becomes very obvious to us when we experience supernatural activities. You're like, okay, if not, I'm just freaking crazy. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
If not, I just hallucinated.
I'm just hallucinating after all this acid that I've done in my life, but that's another subject. But no, I mean, since I was little, I think I was always very exposed to that, and we all are. It's just that some of us kind of ignore it. But then I started to just be fascinated by religion. I grew up around a lot of Jewish people. At Aventura, Miami's all Jewish people. And then I fell in love with like shamanism, right? Like not in no shape or form am I a shaman, and in no shape or form am I a priest, or a rabbi. But the beautiful part is being able to pick up on different things. And I think that's what I would say is my shape and my form, right? That I love being able to study all different practices. And in each practice, there's something so beautiful that I can kind of intertwine and make into my own thing. So Mother Mary for me is like what I grew up with. And I've had some miraculous, and we'll save that for after, but I've also had some really insane miracle stories with Mother Mary. I mean, I can go on.
I cannot wait to hear.
Yeah, we'll have to save that for another part 2.
That was beautiful though, because that is how I feel with spirituality. I can see the beauty in every religion, and you just take the parts that resonate, and you just, you know, every religion is basically just being a better person. So you're just growing with all the knowledge from different religions. And I try to say like a Hail Mary or some kind of prayer that I grew up with once a day, just to connect, because that's what I was born into. It's like, why was I born into that religion? And I just try to I don't go to church really, but I just try to connect with the religion I was born into a little bit, while still taking other things from everywhere else.
Those are mantras. Like, those are affirmations. Prayers are affirmations.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to belong to a specific thing. And I think that that's what we're forgetting. You know, a lot of religious people are going to go through a lot. I was just on a call yesterday with one of my mentors. Her name is Mahina. And she was talking to us about how much people who are just so stuck in religion are going to suffer tremendously, because it's really hard to put yourself in a box, right?
Yeah.
And as I grow as a person, I realize how when we become so stuck with religion, and any type of religion or any type of cult, right? Because no different. I mean, I guess there is a difference. There's some really evil cults, right?
Yeah.
But it's usually not the people who are in the religion that are horrible people. It's the people who run these churches and these organizations that are not the greatest of humans, right?
Yeah.
But it's very difficult. And I realize that a lot of it is just true ignorance, right? Because when you start to travel the world, you start to realize how we all have a brother, a messenger like Jesus. Maybe his name isn't Jesus. Maybe his name is Krishna. But there's millions of, well, maybe not millions, but there's been hundreds, dozens of messiahs, of messengers. And that's what that represents for us. It's a sibling. It's someone that's like so connected to the divine, right? When I think about Jesus, I could cry, right? Like, imagine if Jesus was just in here, like, I mean, he is, but just hanging out with us,
Yeah.
talking with us, the purest human being ever, and how he decided to suffer for us, right? So it's like all of us get to be able to pick and, right, and between the spiritual and the physical. That's the beautiful part about Love is Blind, that it's between the spiritual and the physical. I want to ask you, between that like thin line, there was like an iconic moment, right? Which is like you meeting him, right?
Yes.
Which is like, it's so funny because I was like looking into it and everyone's like, oh my God, her facial expressions. I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest with you. I felt like you were just like,
I was in shock. There's no other way to put it. I was in a pure state of shock, and I didn't know how to react.
what shocked you the most?
Everything. Just seeing this person that you were talking to. And you know what's so crazy? I had two versions of what he would look like in my head, and he was one of those versions. I'm like, holy shit, I like knew what he was gonna look. I was just in such, I don't know. Then you have the thing that you don't see though is you're so used to being filmed and everything. That's whatever. But when they film that is you. Every camera that they have, what you don't see is like in the dark right here because we're under the lights, but in this like dark area where all the cameras are, they're every producer, every person that works on the show. So you're just like, all eyes are on you. So there's
Watching
just, regardless of this person, you're already nervous because everyone's watching you. Everyone's hearing every word you're saying. So yeah, so and then you see this person, you're like trying to figure them out, and you have such a deep connection with them. You just don't. I think I went crazy for a second.
Yeah, it was like a moment of like a meltdown.
And then I'm listening to that moment made the top 15 moments of Love is Blind.
It was pretty iconic, I will say. I was laughing. I was like, oh, like.
And then on me, I'm asking him, like, why do you like me? And he's naming all these beautiful reasons. And he's like, why do you like me? And I'm like, I don't know. Oh, I look like a bitch. People don't talk about that. I'm like, forget Leo. I was like, what am I saying? This poor guy, I'm just setting him up for failure at this point. I'm like, I don't know why I like you. No, I could list 1,000 reasons why I like him. You just...
In that moment, you just kind of like... Let me ask you, during the pod, like right when you guys are moving forward, was there any ounce in you, any inch in you that was like, I don't think this is my person?
In the pods?
Yeah.
No. I think I was pretty open too. Even on the show, I was like, I don't feel like you just proposed to me. I feel like you just asked me to be your girlfriend. I think I was very aware of reality, if that makes sense. I wasn't saying, I love you, you know.
Like how we see a lot.
Yes.
Of, that's so true. You weren't like
and I never
a love
told
bomber
him,
or...
Oh, yeah.
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 You weren't. That's so true.
And, you know, I forget where we were going with that.
No, but let me ask you do you think that experience of like the physical and the spiritual, because I think that Love is Blind is really, truly, low key, the producers are onto something where it's just like, love is spiritual. Like, okay, are you spiritually connect with this person?
Yes.
They were onto something. They're onto something. That concept is really beautiful.
It is.
It's really freaking beautiful. I don't know. It's very, anyways. Well, because I think the bare minimum of a relationship, any relationship, is friendship.
Yes.
Me and my partner, we were friends for 3 years. No, I think even more, even longer. We were friends for a long time, and we would just hang out, and you know, like we would date other people, and it was just like, we weren't getting to know each other to date. Even though he said that he was going to marry me on the first time we hung out. And I was like, what?
Love bomber. No, I'm kidding.
Love bomber.
I'm kidding. Sometimes you just know.
Sometimes you just know, right? No, but it wasn't even like that. His mom asked him the other day, why'd you say that? Like, did you know what you were saying? He was like, no, I don't even know why I said that.
Oh, that's so cute.
I know.
That is so cute.
How do you think that spiritual, physical part, right, that component of like separating those two things but at the same time them becoming one, how do you think that has influenced your relationships after you've had relationships after? Talk to me about how that played a role in these new relationships.
Well, I think that Love is Blind, oh my gosh, it just taught me so much about love and everything, because I used to just be attracted to this chaos and this just
really?
Like fun and
you
exciting relationships. Oh, I could write a book. I will write a book. Long time, not anytime soon, in the future, about my love life, because it's just been a crazy ride. But what I learned about Love is Blind is that that's what matters, that friendship that you were just talking about. Like, what, at the end of the day, if someone in my family dies, like, that person is going to be there. Like, are they capable of being there for me in these times? If we have something horrible happen, like, it's just like, that's what's important to me now, more so than looks. Like, this deep companionship, this deep respect, and looks come and go. And
we change.
You know, you have to be physically attracted to someone, of course, but that I've been in relationships where there's only physical attraction, and it never works out. It never works out, because they're going to leave you when they feel emotionally attracted to someone else, you know?
Yeah, they will. That's so true.
Or physically attracted. More, you know? Yeah. There's always going to be someone prettier than you, more handsome than you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If I'm making sense or not.
Yeah, it makes total sense. And after, like, do you think that with the people that you've dated or getting to know somebody new, do you think that you've changed anything, like, in the way that you usually, I guess, navigate a new relationship?
The biggest change that I've seen is verbal communication. That's really what Love is Blind taught me. Before, I used to be very quiet and passive.
Really?
And being thrusted into a situation where I can only talk to someone was, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. But somehow, you know, if you're forced into a situation, what I suffer with the most is communication. I don't know. I'm an only child.
Oh,
Let me blame it on that. I don't know.
Oh, you're an only child.
I am.
Wow.
So now I'm being guided. We have some, you know, little guidelines of what to talk about in relationships. Like, today we're going to talk about kids, our future. What's your 5-year plan? So it made me really comfortable with open communication between me and a partner, because before, I think I was just so passive and quiet that maybe it was purely a lot of physical relationships that have come and gone. And now, like my last boyfriend, I could just dive deep into topics and not care. Is he gonna think I'm crazy? No. Do you want kids? Do you not? Like, what's I just have like no shame. If I want a husband, I need to know this kind of stuff.
Yes.
And people could be like, oh, you're gonna scare some away, but you know, you gotta be smart.
Yeah.
You don't dump on them on the first date. But I don't know, I just have this open line of communication now.
Yeah.
And when someone upsets me, I feel like I can say that in a way, I don't know, in a better way now.
Yeah. And like on Love is Blind, do they prep you with some questions?
A little bit. Every
Yeah.
day that we have some questions in the back of our book.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to think of the topics. Like one day we're talking about finances, which is a lot of what
That's
you saw
so
me talking
good.
about.
Yeah. But that's so good.
It is very good. And some days, there's a day where we were talking about, sexual chemistry, things like
Yes.
that. And you didn't have to ask people the questions. That was just like a prompt.
But that's really good that they prep you with those prompt questions for someone like, say, like how you were, because I would not say that you're someone who is bad at communicating now. You're clearly great, but that helped you, I would say. But it's really good that they are able to prompt you. And I think sometimes that's the beauty of being able to do workshops and classes with your partner, right? Like not just physically, spiritually, emotionally, right? Because it helps you prompt these kind of like things that naturally maybe are harder for you to talk about.
Yes.
So that's really cool.
Leo and I talked more, and I think this is true for anyone who's ever been on Love is Blind. I've talked more about the deep, important things with Leo than I probably have any boyfriend I've ever had in my whole entire life.
And Leo, there's no chance of Leo again?
Sometimes I do think,
Wow.
Is it really Leo?
I mean, is Leo in a relationship now? Like,
No, we are both single. No, let me not start any craziness. But I do feel like anyone male-wise that comes to my life has maybe a tiny bit of jealousy towards Leo. Because there's no denying how strong our connection is.
It sounds like you guys are taking all the steps necessary for it to actually be a relationship.
He's going to see this. He's going
Where
to kill
does
me.
Leo live?
Like, Brittany.
Does Leo live in Miami?
No, he lives in New York City.
I'm like, does Leo live in Miami? In New York City?
In New York City. He comes to Miami often, though.
Leo, let's see.
I don't like New York, though.
No, I don't think I can see
too much.
I don't see you living in New York either.
No.
I wanted to talk to you about this. Okay, so you are all about like well-being and the environment, which we'll get into after. But I want to talk to you about your sobriety and your journey through sobriety. Yes. And obviously, like, I remember asking my friend, why do they always have these cups? Like
it could be water in the cups.
Oh, really?
The cups are mostly for editing purposes, because you don't want to see how much you drink, if that makes sense. I don't really know the details. I'm not. Johnny that's not my niche.
The details.
But, but yeah, it could be water, it could be wine, it could be anything in the cups, honestly.
So it's for editing purposes that they give you the cup.
Yeah.
And so they say you have to have the cup at all times.
There's just no other option. You don't have to have the cup. No. Maybe we're clinging on to the cups for emotional support.
Literally, you guys are I see the girls like clenched onto their freaking cup.
It's our teddy bear.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what's so funny? One of my best friends, when we used to go out when we were younger, she would get like this is when we were broke, and she would get like this one drink for the night, and the whole night she would be with the freaking cup and probably like 2 ice cubes in it and the straw, and the whole night she'd be like, and I'm like, girl, that's your emotional support cup because there's nothing left in there. When you just like need to have something in your hand. So I totally get the clenching,
especially
of
when you're out at a bar. It feels weird to just be without a cup.
That's true. Thank God I'm gonna let you try some of this. I use this tonic. It's by Drome. It's so good. It's these elixirs that are made with like different herbs and like adaptogenics, and they make you feel so good. I'm gonna give you some. Cannot wait. I'm gonna give you some so you can try.
Thank you. But speak in my language.
Yes, but talk to me about your sobriety. Throughout the journey, because I know that now you're sober, but you drank during the show.
I did. I was very aware of how much I was drinking, though, because I was like, I'm being filmed. I'm not gonna be stupid.
Was there anyone that did get silly?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. You would see them get silly.
Not like crazy. I think we're all smart. We're all smart enough to know better,
Yeah.
But there was one day, us girls got a little, we had some fun, but we didn't get crazy.
What do you guys like drink on there? Like tequila or like
tequila?
Really?
We had some kind of seltzer in the fridge.
Okay. What kind of food did they give you guys?
Everything was different. Food? It was like catering food. Okay. So it'd be a plate with and everything on there.
Okay. Will they give you good food?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, breakfast.
I'm a foodie, so it's like, they better be having good food. You know? But, okay, so what made you get sober after?
So I've never thought that I had a bad relationship with alcohol. And it's definitely played a part in relationships on the male's part of being, you know, a very bad thing. And I think there's just so much trauma that I've had towards alcohol, particularly in this one relationship. And I don't think that there is just a spiritual calling to clean it up, honestly. There's nothing that happened. One of my very, very good friends owns all these rehab centers, and he planted the seed of being sober in my head. And because he's been sober for 10 years. I have a lot of sober friends, honestly. Yeah, it's so and fun. Then my ex-boyfriend's been sober for 6 years. So I dated him. So I see what life is like without alcohol. And there's it's no question that.
Do you think that
nothing good comes from alcohol?
Yeah, it doesn't. Do you think like if you would have been sober on the show, do you think it would have changed anything, or it was?
Honestly, no.
No, because you were always kind of like
I was very clear-headed, I would say.
Yeah,
I would say.
I'm sure that like there must be people who go on the show and are battling an addiction.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's happened. I'm sure there is.
Oh, I'm sure anything's probably happened at this point. Yeah.
Do you get drug tested on the show?
No.
No?
No.
But you can't bring in drugs.
No, there's no one's on drugs, I promise you.
Yeah, you can't sneak in a little.
You can't sneak in anything.
Nothing, not even a little weed?
No. They check our luggage, you know. And then you have these wranglers, they're called. So just you're always with the producer, or you're in your hotel room. So there's just
have, like,
no
your
room.
co-person.
There is no room for nonsense.
You know what I was going to ask you too? That I was wondering too. Has there ever been anyone that's fallen in love with a producer?
Ooh, I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, I'm sure it's happened.
I mean, usually I can imagine you get assigned to a girl, right? Or was it a guy?
I had a guy producer. Mm-hmm.
You never know.
That is because you are going through this very emotional thing, and they are there for you. So I can see a world in which... Are they there for
you? Like, do they like that's your guide you through?
I mean, guide you through. They're more there to listen. You know, they don't want to interrupt what's going on naturally, but you know,
that must be so hard.
It is a very intimate relationship, is what I'm trying to say.
Do you still talk to your producer?
Not really, no. But I would.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
reach out and like check in.
Yeah. No. They do act as a little, you know, they're just there for you.
I love it. Yeah, I thought of that. I'm like, I'm sure that there has to be someone who falls in love with the producer and like, you know, it's like, hey, I know I'm supposed to be falling in love with my person in the pod, but
that would be crazy. I wonder if they would air that.
I doubt it. They'd probably take it out. Okay, something that stood out to me when I watched the show this is like the one thing that I remember was that you were so concerned about the environment and that you talked about your cleanups. And so I want to hear about that, how that started.
Okay. Well, to piggyback off of how you had always felt, you know, with gay rights and everything, it was just this internal feeling that I've had. I remember when I was a child, I did actually go to this modeling school when I was a child. And then, so I had this passion for modeling. Nothing ever came of it. I just love beauty.
Yes.
That's really it. I just love beauty. My favorite thing was the makeup class in the modeling thing. ADHD really flew me into a little tangent here. But my passion has always been beauty and the environment. I've always loved the environment. And I was like, why did I start these beach cleanups? And I have this vivid memory as a child. I made a sign, like a protest sign, okay? And I was like, models don't smoke, because my grandfather had just died from lung cancer, so I'm so against smoking now. I've always been a little activist, I think. Yes. I'm like, models don't smoke. And then the second sign was like, pick up your trash.
Really?
And I hung them up in my neighborhood like a little psychopath, thinking that was really going to get them.
Did you get them?
I don't know.
I'm sure you inspired someone.
So there's always been this natural
urge to kind
inclination that right and wrong.
Yeah.
Trash. Like, why would you just throw? And I do walks around my neighborhood every day. There's this one little street where people just throw their fast food. And I live in a beautiful little county neighborhood. And I'm like, what makes you as a person just be like, I see those lids over there. Let me just, I don't know. I'm like, you're driving into a neighborhood, just throw it out at your house.
Dude, that's crazy.
But that's not really where most of the litter really even comes from. Mm-hmm. It's mostly bad waste management, especially, this is a whole environmental tangent, but people there is of course a lot of litter where people, ignorance is the cause of it. But then there's places in the Dominican Republic, which I went to for a nonprofit trip with my friend, and they just don't have any other choice. If you live in the mountains, trash trucks cannot come up to take your trash. So they're putting their trash out. And you think about how trash has evolved. In the mountains before plastic, there was really no trash. But now there's plastic water bottles, there's fast food wrappers, there's stuff that's not going to biodegrade in your backyard from, because just industrial things have changed. So now that waste is going, when it rains, flowing into the river. This river is going to lead it out into the ocean. And I have on my Instagram pictures from the Dominican Republic. There's this one beach that the trash flows from all the midsection of the land. It flows into this beach. The trash is as high as this. It's like feet high. Like this high of trash on the beach. It's crazy. So anyway.
That's
total
so cool.
Tangent.
That's so cool.
But there's a lot of changes that need to be made. It's not all ignorance.
Is that something that you feel like super passionate about right now?
It is.
Always.
I always will host my little beach cleanups because I started hosting them. I don't know. I've always wanted to, and one day I was like, I want to do it. Why don't I just do it?
Let's do one here in Miami. Have you done one here?
Yes. Well, I have a really good relationship with a few of the nonprofits here, like Clean Miami Beach, and they host them here all the time, but we should definitely host
Let's
something.
do one.
Yeah.
The next time, when are you coming back?
I don't know. Probably next month.
Okay.
I'm here like every month.
So we can host a cleanup.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, they do incredible work. You have to look up.
Yeah, I think I've done one with them.
Nice.
But what? Johnny's like, yeah, let's do one.
Absolutely.
I want to do one. It would be really cool.
Even just walking down in South Beach, you could just pick up trash it's just so much trash everywhere.
I know, trash.
It's a trashy world.
I had a retreat in El Salvador, and there was so much work to be done.
Yeah.
It was such a beautiful place, and it was really unfortunate. And it's like what you're saying about waste management, really, that's kind of like what it comes down to, because it's like they don't have a place to, before, in a sense, it was a natural way of composting, but because there wasn't so much plastic. But nowadays it's like, okay, they deserve to have their same water bottle as you do.
Yeah.
But I think it goes back to as companies, as leaders, as CEOs, as, trendsetters, for us to become more confident and more comfortable with using biodegradable products, right? Because until the day that we can kind of send more waste management to those kind of untapped places, then that's kind of like what we have to do. Okay.
That's so crazy.
I have had so much fun talking to you. Like,
I could be here all day.
I know.
You're gonna have to seal my lips up.
We're gonna have to do a part 2.
Yes.
I feel like you have so much to give.
Oh, thank
and
you
so much love to
much.
share with the world. I have a question. One last question for you. I ask this question to everyone who comes on here, and it is, what do you think makes your soul rich?
Ooh. That is a beautiful question. I would say, let me think about this. It's really nothing to think about because I feel like it's just, I close my eyes to think about it, and it's really just peace and love and feeling content and just always evolving. You know, we're all going to have bad times. I always like to remind myself when I'm going through a very up and down or a very down period, we live in a dualistic world and there's always going to be ups and downs, but just learning in the bad times and just keep growing, you know, just keep evolving your soul. I'm so different than what you see on the TV when I film Love is Blind. I could have stayed that way, you know.
Yes.
We just always have to flow with what we're thrown and
flow with what you're thrown.
Okay.
Brittany, where can people find you?
On my social media, it's all Brittany Wisniewski, and for my middle name, Nicole.
Hey, let's go, Nikki.
I want to do more YouTube stuff.
Yes.
Mostly I'm just right now on Instagram and TikTok.
Okay.
And yeah, I would like to do some more long format content. So if anyone has any ideas, what would you like to hear from me?
Ask her any questions.
Let me know.
Drop it in the comments if you guys are watching this. If you loved what we spoke about today, and if you feel called to working with Brittany, if you feel called to working with me, please drop it in the chat and we'll try to answer these questions. We can do a part 2 next time that you're in Miami. We're going to try to organize a cleanup because we need as much cleanup as possible. So thank you, angel, earth angel of a human that you are, for coming on. It was such a joy. It was so peaceful, beautiful, funny chatting with you.
This is the most relaxed I've ever been doing a podcast. Usually I'm nervous. And don't get me wrong, I'm like a little nervous because I just know I could improve my public speaking a little bit.
You did amazing.
So I always like to watch them back
you guys
and critique.
See how amazing she did? She did incredible. She did so good. I'm so happy that you feel comfortable and that that you feel that this can align with, you know, the people who are needing your services and your love. So
thank you.
I hope that this is the first of many.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun.
Oh, thank you.